Why they get offended so easy? Throw a pair. Just take it and move on. Do 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 da do da do do do. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you guys. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Vicky, good to see you. Do you have PJ Cruikshank?
Oh, good. That's still flying. Jesus still loves us.
Hey, man. Michael Khan, what's up, Peter Dragon? How you guys doing? And we are live, I think. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Tonight's going to be a very triggersome stream for some people. We've already been having some triggered numpties like Sean Hawkins coming in.
You know, Flatzoid, both you and Dave are just
Get out of my pocket!
you are too much of a coward.
And Craig, FTFE, the fallacy king.
You stupid woman.
That's going to be an interesting one tonight. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Sorry, we started 5 minutes earlier. But it's good to see you all because you only actually got just under an hour today. So I said, let's just quickly try it out. So we got PJ Cruikshank, Ryan, and Dave in. How are you guys doing?
What's up,
Oh,
man?
good. Oh, good.
What's up, peeps?
It's good to see you guys.
I think it is
everybody in
saying
YouTube
Vicky,
land?
Brian. I think it is saying Vicky, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he's screaming. Okay, because it's really hard to tell.
I think the sound bite is actually me screaming, but because I shouted Vicky one night when she came in chat. I'm like, Vicky, language. So I think
No, but
it's that made it sound different.
Jamie, no, Jamie told me it's something said from South Park or something. I just
Oh,
can't
so it's
remember
not
what
actually Vicky then. I thought it was maybe when I shouted
Oh,
Vicky.
okay.
Right. I thought it was Vicky.
But yeah, it's really cool.
I was
to
only
see
guessing.
It's really cool to see everybody. Thank you for coming. Just to let you know, in an hour's time, I'm going over to Vika Drazov. I'm going to be on his podcast. So that's why we're only going to have an hour show and why I started so late tonight. But it's good to see everybody in the YouTube lands. Please hit the like, share the show, and appreciate everybody here. So I think we better get to the Jeransim thingy because we don't have much time. I do have a lot, however, guys, I do have a lot of buttered globers.
No
You
doubt.
don't understand.
Are they bitter buttered? Are they bitter buttered?
Yeah, their thing is literally what Craig said the whole evening. I don't understand kinematics, so no one else understands it.
Do you want it a layman's description? I mean, it's not that difficult to understand, really, is it?
I mean, Witsit said it so many times. I explained it in very simple terms to them too. Okay, obviously
Right,
I
yeah.
probably don't know it as good as Witsit though, because it's not something I really studied, but I can tell you the underpinnings of what it is, literally just based on
Well,
reference.
Witsit will use the
movements.
actual sign.
Ooh. That was weird.
Oh, you broke up, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan's totally broke.
Sorry about that. I got a bad signal.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's carry on from where we left off last night. I see Al just dropped in. What's up, Al? Good to see you too. Hi. Okay, it just says hi. I don't think his mic works or something. Okay, so let's go and watch it.
Was there's a dynamic equivalence, whether with Newtonian or Einsteinian mechanics. I've explained this to you guys many times, and you just hand wave dismiss it. And then further than that, we're not going to believe the stories that you're going to space anyway, because you literally do have to appeal to the authority of government agencies that always lie, say, well, they said they went there, it must be true, and we don't have to believe that anyway. So, and just so you know, whenever
And also to note, Witsit, you should have brought this up. They haven't been able to demonstrate you can violate natural law. So even if he's appealing to authority of a space agency, they still have to be able to demonstrate they can violate entropy. So no violation, no space. Woo!
Absolutely.
whenever they supposedly even transform over to the barycentric center, they actually use the ECI initially to do that, which is Earth-centered inertial frame, which they transformed to that from the ECEF. So if you knew those things, you would know in your own paradigm, this doesn't prove the Earth is moving, and you're still avoiding the point that actual empirical measurements falsify the claim the Earth moves around the sun whenever we did MMX and we did Aries failure. So those who don't know, the light comes in from the star through the telescope with water in it. If the Earth is moving, it's supposed to deviate because it's going to change speed in the...
And it doesn't. Whoopsie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is very simple. You literally just told him again. It's reference-based. I don't know how much more simpler we can make it for these guys. You guys claim the sun and everything moves over the Earth. I mean, the Earth and everything moves around the sun. Okay? Now, how the kinematics equivalence works is we can show different references. So we can change it to Earth being the center and everything revolving around the Earth. It's taken it from heliocentrism and says, look, the same can be applied to geocentrism. That's it. Al, is your mic working now?
Is it?
There we go. Yeah.
I sent you someone in DMs, by the way.
Okay.
I think it would be important for relativity.
Ooh, let's go check it
But
out.
you can evaluate it yourself.
Oh, okay, then I'll check it out and we can maybe talk about it. Because you're going to talk about this again, because obviously we're going to take on this whole thing with Kit and Dal sometime as well. So.
Sorry, what thing with Dal?
Upward rising Earth.
Oh, was this the recent, I guess, conversation that they had?
Yeah. It was yesterday. Yeah, it was last night.
Right.
Phuket Word was debating Dal on upward rising Earth, accelerating Earth.
Oh, all right then.
So it'll be interesting.
The medium, right? And in your paradigm with the constant speed of light, it's actually just changing direction and increasing the path distance. So it's going to deviate and hit the side relative to how fast we move through space and spin. But it didn't do that. So Aries failure was an Aries success for a geocentric model, and then MMX refuted it. So do you have any actual evidence that we are flying through space? That's the question.
We went through relativity. I scored on that before, but MMX was not about Earth's movement. It was about movement relative to the Aether. They found no Aether. Aries failure was also a failure to find the Aether.
And that's a lie, because we showed last night on screen. I brought it up and showed it was specifically about the movement of the Earth.
Did you hear him? He says, I already schooled you on this.
Yeah, exactly. What a lie. Oh, look, we got someone accelerating Earth. Straw man already. No, it's literally what he fights for. Accelerating reference. Earth accelerating, therefore we have density gradients. It's not a straw man. That is, to the T, verbatim, his argument. How do we get this through to daltards, you retarded people? If you're explaining, I'm saying Earth's rotating, accelerating upwards, you are fighting for accelerating upwards Earth. It's not a straw man. It's verbatim what you're saying. Yeah, that's retarded, by the way.
Just going on up through infinity, huh?
Yeah. It's amazing that something accelerating at a constant is getting by. I mean, yes, you should hit way past the speed of light by now. Where are we going accelerating into anyway? Oh yeah, they probably are evoking space. They might as well be Globers.
That's why it's called Aries failure. Both of them were to do with Aether, not to do with Earth moving through space.
False. It was got to do with Earth as the reference moving through the Aether. FTFE. It failed to show Earth moving through the ether. Yeah? Oh, RJC says not accelerating. I agree. It's stationary. There's no accelerating Earth. Agreed.
I'm not seeing anything over here.
Look what he says. Well, where is your stationary Earth in a space? It's not.
Exactly.
It's below the waters above.
But don't worry, we're going to get to that next. We're doing this tonight. The retarded Deltardians Splatter Society bullshit we can do another time because we're doing this right now. I can't help it. You're stupid to understand it.
Do we have a Deltardian in the chat, like?
Yeah. RJC.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on with that crap. Please.
Yeah. Pushing Flat Earth Society nonsense is retarded. I'm going to say it again. You pushing Flat Earth Society nonsense is retarded. Yes, Dal. It's moving because it's moving. It's retarded.
It is retarded. What got it moving in the first place?
Yeah. What got it moving in the first place? Oh, they can't say that.
To this conversation. Nice attempt to non sequitur there. You're completely wrong about appeal to authority. Appeal to authority is literally if you just, if there's a media personality or something that says it's true, if there's an expert in the field that has knowledge in that field, even if there's two experts that disagree, referring to an expert is not appealing to authority. It's just you're wrong about that. I know you never accept that you're wrong about that because you don't ever accept that you're wrong about anything.
I love how Jared's face is like, this guy's retarded. Look at him. What the hell is he saying?
They do, in fact, use, when they, for instance, sending the Solar Parker probe to the sun, they most certainly use the calculations of the
yeah, guys, remember they sent a probe to the sun?
Oh, when they did that? Yeah, I remember when they did that.
Sure they did.
Yeah, sure they did. I mean, they have hard issue trying to explain why things don't melt in space over Earth, but by the sun. Okay. Good to know. Oh, yeah, well, it's just radiation, dude. Yeah, the reason it's worse is because there's no transference of heat anywhere around it, so it'd melt much easier. If you guys ever did conductivity before? Taken a pot and stuck it on a stove. Now imagine trying to do that in a vacuum with nothing to transfer that heat to. What will happen to the pot?
Nothing.
Center of the solar system to send it there and get the data that they did. So just you saying these things without you showing that it's true is a bit irrelevant, because we have sent the probes to the sun with the knowledge that the Earth is orbiting the sun using those calculations. But you keep screaming.
Literally can be used with using kinematics. That's the whole point, Craig. You can literally take the kinematics equivalence and do exactly the same as you just claimed.
That we have a kinematic equivalent and saying that I don't know what it means. You attempted to explain it and didn't. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, could you show me the kinematic equivalent live? Could you bring it up and show me it, please? I would love to have it explained to you by you specifically. Take me through it bit by bit.
Freudian slip there, dude.
No, I won't be pulling anything up, but I am going to talk to your chat now. Just so you guys know, if you actually choose to believe people like Craig and Mattoon, who are blatantly dishonest people whenever they have the kinematic equivalent shown to them and quoted and cited with relativity itself. I quoted Einstein directly explaining it. They've had all the documents sent to them multiple times. They know it's
Craig.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just saying no when I ask you to do something is, as far as I'm concerned,
I'm sure we were further than this yesterday, but it's fine.
We were. Craig, I think, had already used up both buzzers.
Yeah, I think let's go forward a bit, because I thought, it's about, sorry. I don't know why I went back.
Within a half hour, he'd already used up both his buzzers. They can't help themselves, man. They just can't.
No.
Because we'll carry on from because it was actually done last night. I was like, sure, we listen to this.
Yeah. That's a perfect example of the kinematic equivalence. Okay. And I even pointed out that if you went to space, it didn't mean anything. So this is what's so funny. I'm asking you, right? Because first of all, Kepler's laws are just ratio based on radii and periodicity of the observations. It has nothing to do with masses, nothing to do with dynamics. Of course, if you understood the basic parts of your belief, you would never say these things out loud. It's pretty crazy. But I'm just going to repeat the question. Okay, how about this? I'll just say it like this, and we'll give you however long to squirm past it and just repeat the Aether, the way you said the Aether is been debunked, whatever. You're just avoiding the question, right? Highly precise interferometry measurements should have detected the Earth moving around the sun, and it did not. And that falsified Newtonian dynamics within your paradigm because of Newton's first law combined with the assumption it was a force. You then invoked Einsteinian physics, right, which is that the Earth is free falling in a geodesic path, therefore you can't detect it with interferometry because all motion is relative. And Einstein said, saying that the Earth moves around the sun or the sun moves around the Earth is equally valid.
Yeah, that's called the equivalence principle. FTFE, something you're supposed to know all about. Which the kinematic equations are based upon. Equivalence. In other words, you can change your reference and get the same outcome.
Yep.
That's why I said you can even move the reference even to Mars if you wanted to and get the same outcome, because then you're just moving everything around Mars then.
In fact, isn't that what they used to do, like in movies? They would have somebody in a stationary car, the two actors talking and having scenery moving by them. The car was actually
And it
stationary,
looks like they're moving.
but it looked like they were rolling down the road talking in the car, right? There you go.
Yeah, you usually got like those old westerns and stuff as well.
Yeah.
They got a guy sitting on a horse or something, but the horse is stand. He's just actually still. It's just on a dolly, and they got the fence and everything next to it on like a treadmill dolly that's moving across the screen, and it looks like he's running with the horse, but in the meantime, it's the just like a screen just going on a loop around.
Yeah, you get that same feeling when you're sitting on a bus, like Sol was saying the other day, when he pumped the brakes in the car. But yeah, when he said that, it reminded me when you sit on a bus and you've been sitting there for a while, then another bus beside you pulls away with people in it and that, and you think you're moving, you think you're going somewhere, and it's not. It's the bus is just pulled away. Yeah, it makes you think you're moving. For a sec.
Sure, thanks for that. I'll definitely be looking at that stuff, mate.
Aye, because the Michelson-Morley is quite an important part of the debate, I think.
Yeah, Michelson-Morley was like one of the first things I was actually checking out when I got into flat Earth. So.
Oh, really? How come?
Yeah, because I was into the electric universe and also the ether, and it was me trying to figure out things. So yeah, I was into looking at Sagnet effect and the Michelson-Morley and Aries failure and all that stuff. I don't know if you know Michael Bowden.
Michael Bowden. It rings a bell. Who's that?
He actually taught a lot on Aries failure, Michelson-Morley and stuff as well. Really good stuff.
Oh, do you know about Malcolm Bowden?
That's the guy I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess I just misheard you. He's the Christian guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's got the video, he's got loads of videos about all the different experiments in geocentrism.
Yeah, he was a geocentrist. Yeah. I think he still believed in the globe though, but he was a geocentrist, and he showed.
Oh yeah, because he does have a video about flat Earth. Like, he doesn't like flat Earth, but he did look into it.
Yeah.
Bye, Alan.
It is him addressing the kinematic equivalence. Can you offer actual empirical evidence that the Earth moves around the sun when all empirical physical measurements on the Earth showed that the Earth was stationary? And what would we expect to see in Michelson-Morley's test if the Earth were stationary?
Okay. Again, Michelson-Morley is absolutely nothing to do with the Earth's movement around the sun. It is simply to detect Earth's movement against the Aether, which they didn't find. So any question about Michelson-Morley?
Oh, really? Wait, what? So it had nothing to do with the motion, then why did they all say it?
But he literally just contradicted that, though. Because he said it had to do with Earth's motion in relation to the ether. So Earth's motion then has something to do with it. You do know if you picked up something, it would be one way or the other. You would have picked up the ether drift, or you would have picked up the Earth's drift. You picked up none. Wow. The reason it's failure is because it did not pick up Earth in movement. So therefore, if there was movement, it had to be up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Aries failure is so important. And that's why they run away from it like the plague.
Well, aye.
And Morley in
Yeah.
relation to Earth's movement is irrelevant because that was to do with the Aether, and we're not talking about the Aether. They're different things. Same with Aries failure. That was specifically about the Aether. Don't know why you would bring it up in a discussion about Earth's movement, because Earth's movement is not the Aether. They are different things. However you want me to say it, Ether, Aether, however you want me to call it, one of the stones that Thanos put on his gauntlet, whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact is that Mike's and Morley, Aries failure, were nothing to do with Earth's movement. They were to do with the...
And yet he lies because he showed on the last stream. I brought it up on screen to say, in relation to Earth movement. Literally what it's about. FTFE, so that's literally based on lies. Well done, man.
Detected movement against the Aether, not Earth's movement around the sun. They are different things. So, don't keep asking me to explain MMX when that's not part of this discussion. And again, you keep going on about this is the kinematic equivalence. No one's denying that it's the kinematic equivalence, but I just wanted you to actually talk me through it. You keep saying you've got all these things that shows that, but you won't show anything. You just keep saying these things. All observations, all measurements show that the Earth is moving. We sent stuff to space.
False. He just brought up two that didn't. Mickelson, Morley, Aries failure.
Yeah.
Just handwave dismissed, guys. It's fine.
Like you never said it.
To confirm, to see if Earth was moving and everything is moving where we said it is. We sent stuff to Mars based on the fact that we know when Mars's orbit is going to be in the right position to send stuff there. We sent the Solar Parker probe to the sun based on the knowledge of where we are in our orbit around the sun. Everything we do in space is based on the knowledge and predictions of Earth being in a solar system. To just deny this is just denying everything that is known about space travel.
And then again, I would say, literally showing you don't understand what's its argument, you're not knowing what the kinematic equivalence is, and you're embarrassing yourself every single word you're opening your mouth with. Literally, this whole debate is not actually debate. It's just let Craig show he doesn't understand an argument, doesn't understand what's been presented, and literally has no idea that he's a moron.
Ridiculous. To have space travel, you'd have to have equipment it would be able to handle that kind of environment. And secondly, you need a place, an environment like that to exist.
I mean, remember the other night I used a string for Raichi to show if you move around the South Pole and stuff. They can do this again. Point A, point B, okay? Let's say this is now the center. According to the kinematics, it's moving around. Now we just change the reference to this side. Now it's moving around that side. It's exactly the same movements. You just change your reference frame. You change your reference point. The center of reference is now moved. So according to the kinematics equivalence, you can say the sun is the center and therefore you got everything moving around it. But you have all the right to say it's the Earth that's the center and everything's moving around the Earth. Just like you can say Mars can be the center and everything moves around Mars.
Yeah.
It doesn't change its movements. It just changes the reference of movement.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you're just going to shout kinematic equivalence, I would just ask you once again, bring it up. Show me it. Talk me through it. Show me the maths. Don't just say it. Talk me through it. Otherwise, you just don't know what you're talking about. It's laughable that you will keep claiming that I don't know what I'm talking about when you say these things. Oh my goodness, like
because you had a little
listen to you talk
voice
often.
for a change.
When the things that you say about the moon and that, it's You are the master of word salad without actually ever saying anything, and especially anything.
Yeah, master of word salad. And with Jared's like, huh?
That you understand. Everything about space travel is based on our knowledge of a solar system. You can deny it all you want and say kinematic equivalence doesn't change the fact that all space travel, sending stuff to Mars, sending probes to Uranus, all this is based on
Sending probes to Uranus, dude. To Craig's Uranus, yeah.
Uranus.
Your anus, yeah.
Sending probes to Uranus.
He's probably he knows.
Where you're
he
getting
knows
peed
a lot
on, it's
about
one of the
probes,
two.
guys. He knows a lot about probes
fruity.
at Uranus, though.
Isn't it? There's no need to get fruity. Come on, Craig. I thought you went that way inclined.
our knowledge of an orbiting solar system and where things are going to be at a particular time. So denying it all you want doesn't change that fact. And I will appeal to the authority of people that put stuff in space when I'm talking about space travel. Nothing wrong with that, because none of the people that put stuff in space disagree with each other. Plus, it's actually backed up with a lot of evidence anyway. So if you want
they don't disagree with each other, huh?
He just doesn't get it. It's the simplest thing, and yet he doesn't get it. I don't understand. What's so hard to understand, Craig? You do know Wits is literally fighting with you in space at the moment. He's just not saying it is space. He's saying it's through an ether. That's all. That's the only difference. But he's still giving movements. He's just saying we're the ones that's stationary. We're not the ones moving around the sun. Literally the same argument, just given a different reference.
Why we think that the Earth is orbiting around the sun, then I can talk you through a bunch of stuff, but you're just going to deny it.
Give it to us then, Craig.
Say things like kinematic equivalence without ever showing me what the kinematic equivalence is you're talking about. So I'm just going to ask once more. Can you show it to me? Yes or no?
Yeah, you can just Google ECEF. I think it's really funny that you're going this route, but when you don't have evidence and you don't understand your own belief, you kind of have to chant and lie and hope that people that are so...
He so hopes his audience is going to help him out, but his audience is as clueless as he is. So it doesn't really help.
But the funny part is that now he can't do anything because his buzzers are gone, so he has to sit there and just listen to it.
Oh, man.
Well, that's what you get.
So desperate that they want to believe that you're right. Well, just believe whatever you say. That's a you problem. I'm not running around like you're telling me what to do to go look up something that literally anyone can look up. ECEF. If you deny kinematic equivalence, you don't understand your model. Exactly. But what I'm going to now do is prove that you don't even understand Michelson-Morley, and it's going to be pretty funny. So, did Michelson-Morley debunk the ether?
No. It debunked Earth's movement.
The results of the Michelson-Morley that they did not detect the fringe shift they would expect if there was ether.
So I guess that's a yes. You think it debunked ether?
Yeah, all science agrees with the claim that the Michelson-Morley removed ether from science. I mean, you can deny it all you want, but it'd be funny.
No. Einstein removed ether from science because if he had to say ether, he can't have space and time warping. Yeah, I'm upset. Because there's an issue. You can't have general relativity if you wanted the ether because he needed a flat space curvature time warping. And if he had the ether, it would have put a wrench in his works and nothing would work. Yeah, guys, hit the likes, man. Good to see everybody here. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it.
In fact, you know what? Please do go ahead because it'll make excellent content for the video I'm making.
Speaking of content, Craig, it's been over about a year now, which you said you've demonstrated your refracted hand for us.
Yeah.
You said you've actually put it into a video. And that was like a year ago. When are we going to see this? Or is that just a lie?
Then you reminded him 6 months ago, and he says it's...
Yeah, he's just finalizing it.
Just finalizing it, yeah. It must take a long time to process on YouTube nowadays. I know it does take a while to process on YouTube, long videos, but
You know what I don't get though? He's got a lot of time to debate and show he doesn't know what he's debating, but he doesn't have time just to upload a video that he says he's done already, like a year ago. Yeah.
Have you been to his website? You saw the stuff that he posts on his website. You should go check it out once.
Yeah. So
just for yourself. Yeah.
If he put as much effort into that as he did digging for a booger, he'd probably have something, you know.
That's where his refracted hand's gone. His nose. Wow, he can't do the video.
Well, we can base that on kinematics as well. It wasn't the hand that went to the nose; it was the nose that went to the hand.
That's true. Yeah.
He's digging because he's digging.
He's digging
picking and agreeing is what he's doing.
So just so you guys know, don't repeat this guy in public if you want to be taken seriously. I mean, only within your echo chamber maybe, but just so you know, right? If all you had to do was get rid of the ether, they would have just kept Newtonian mechanics. They didn't do that, did they? No, they came in and they replaced it with Einsteinian mechanics, because even if you got rid of the ether, but watch this. Now, there you go. Robot Power's going to have so much fun with this. All right. Second question.
Everybody's having fun with this because literally Craig has proven without a doubt he was never a nuclear physicist.
Right.
This is the bottom pinnings of general relativity, and he doesn't know about it. Or he's just very dishonest and he can't concede then. It's one of the two.
He also has a Joker smile.
Yeah.
I swear he does. Every time I see that smile, I think of the Joker.
Think about it. He's either very dumb and he doesn't understand what's being said, or he's just being dishonest and trying to deceive people because he knows it demolishes everything he stands by. Which one is it, Craig? Dumb or dishonest? Take your pick.
Or he's actually a paid shill, one of the three.
Could be both.
I'd say both.
Is all that is needed to explain Michelson-Morley from within a heliocentric model the removal of an ether?
Mm-hmm.
Say that question again.
Is all that's needed from within to explain Michelson-Morley from within a heliocentric model or paradigm to just remove the ether? Is that all that's needed to explain the results of Michelson-Morley?
With no ether, that explains exactly the results that we got from the Michelson-Morley experiment. 100%.
Okay, perfect. All right, next question. Can we use an interferometer to detect the motion of an object moving in a curved path? Example, the Sagnac effect.
The depending on the reference frame that you're on, you could
just
detect the rotation of the Earth around its own axis, but you wouldn't be able to detect the orbit of the Earth around the Sun because the reference frame that it's in. The maths is quite complicated for that, and would take a fair few minutes.
That's not what he asked you, Craig.
Quite complicated, isn't it? Wow. Complicated.
Oh, it's a yes or no question.
That's what they do. They waffle around when you pin them down somewhere. They waffle around. That was great with McToon. They just sat there and bantered back and forth. I don't know. Have you seen blah, blah, blah? No, and then meanwhile, just eating up time. Just eating up time. Not having to answer the fucking question. That's how they always do.
Oh, man.
And that's true what YouTube just said there. Look, about FTFE. Yeah,
it's just grifting for money. That's all he does.
Because if Flat Earth was done away with and nobody's talking about it, he's got no income, has he?
Yeah. Well, lucky for him, Flat Earth is growing exponentially. So
that's it. So
it's weird how they told us, "Oh, Flat Earth's dying. You guys have nothing." Okay, why are you arguing in Flat Earth? No, because it's funny. Oh, because we want to. Okay.
You mean it's funny and you almost had a damn heart attack? I mean, really? That's funny? Come on, dude. You're
you know what I find funny is the same people that say Flat Earth is stupid and wasted time are the people fighting against it 24/7 everywhere.
Yeah. To fight the Flat Earth should be called, like, say, keep the Flat Earth, you know? Because he needs it. He needs it.
I don't know. Maybe he could
It's probably
sponsor
longer than
Bud
that to
Light.
go
They
through.
like freaks.
And I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure of all of the maths. I've had someone try and talk me through it. But an interferometer would not be able to detect the orbit of Earth around the sun, but it would be able to detect the.
So it can't detect the orbit. So it's a linear motion that it would detect, FTFE. Huh. Do you know that Earth goes in 4 different vectors? So therefore it would pick up at least one of them. It doesn't. Not one. Nada. Zilch. Nothing. Even Einstein said, no terrestrial experiment is able to pick up Earth's movement. Get it?
None.
Rotation of Earth around its own axis.
The question was, we use an interferometer to detect the motion of an object moving in a curved path? Yes or no?
It depends on the reference frame that it's in. Like I just.
No, that's not what he asked, Craig. Just say, I don't know. So you either say, no, I don't know, or yes or no. Just say, I don't know then, if you don't know the answer, Craig.
Said and
Okay.
Of what it's measuring, and I just differentiated specifically between it detecting.
Oh, and by the way, if he says detect Earth's movement, rotation, that would mean it's on Earth. So there's your reference. So it's either a yes or a no based on Earth, Craig. Not, it depends where your reference is. Literally, Michelson Morley was done on Earth. or does he think it's done somewhere else?
Yeah.
One thing and another. Like I said, it could detect the rotation of Earth around its own axis, but it would not be able to detect. It's physically not capable of detecting Earth's orbit around the sun. Again, the math for that is extremely complicated to explain exactly why.
Maps, yeah.
At the time of Michelson Morley, was the popularly held belief for the orbit of the Earth Newtonian mechanics or Newtonian gravity?
Yes.
Was the popularly held belief Newtonian gravity? Well, they didn't have any other version of gravity before Einstein came along.
So yes, then. Okay. He doesn't get it.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, the only version of gravity we had until like
He's just trying his hardest to go in the most elaborate, like pretentious way possible to just say aye.
Aye. It's because he's unsure. That's his issue. Because he's
Tyler,
unsure.
didn't you say in a previous thing that he's not like studied it properly?
No, he says he said he did study it, and that's why I schooled Witsit on it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And Witsit says, where is that discussion that you schooled me on it? All he said was, oh, we've debated 11 times on a server. And Witsit's like, I still haven't seen where you've schooled me on it before. And this clearly shows Craig can't school a damn rock.
Explained a lot of stuff was Newtonian laws. That's the only understanding we had until it was explained better.
Until Kepler? Dude, you don't know anything about your own belief, okay?
I said, did you not hear that?
Until Kepler. What the? Oh, man. Yeah, Witsit, I think you did brilliant, dude. He was literally just running circles around FTFE, playing around with him.
No, definitely.
Yeah, you said until Kepler and Einstein explained it further, which shows you don't even know what you're talking about at all. Kepler mapped out the kinematics.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Aljo, for your $2 super chat, man. Really appreciate it. It says, Happy Mother's Day to Brenda. Hope he got many gifts. Actually, I asked Brenda if he has any children, and he got really aggravated about that.
Oh, yeah. He probably does. They don't want anything to do with him because he turned into a freakazoid.
Well, why would he get mad about that?
Yeah. I don't know, because he's a man and he doesn't have a uterus.
Call me Loretta.
Thank you very much, LJ, for your super chat. Appreciate it, man.
And then Newtonian came after that. You don't know your own belief, but it doesn't matter. So this is the point, right? Are there multiple reference frames in Newtonian gravity or Newtonian mechanics that was believed at the time of MMX?
Was there multiple reference frames believed at the time of MMX?
The fact you're repeating it means you're trying to make up bullshit in your head, man, because you don't know the answer. That's literally that's a trait of a liar.
I know, like this guy's NASA, never a straight answer.
But that's literally a trait of lying, guys, where they're repeating the question to make it sound like they're understanding what's going on while they're in their mind trying to figure out an answer because they don't know the answer. It's called lying, Craig. Yeah, just to let you know.
Everything is a reference frame.
Okay, so again, you don't understand it. Newton actually proposed absolute space. He said everything is measured against absolute space. Yes, absolutely. If you've actually read the Principia, let's be real, we know you haven't. So everyone believed that Newtonian gravity was true. The Earth was moving around the sun because a force called gravity was pulling the Earth around the sun, and you could measure that motion in relation to absolute space. So when you say, oh, you couldn't detect it because of reference frames, well, you're invoking Einsteinian mechanics, which means you've just debunked yourself that you can't just explain it with getting rid of the ether. You literally, of course, ironically, Newtonian gravity requires an ether according to Newton.
And that's exactly why they moved to Einsteinian, Craig, because they couldn't prove gravity.
Watch his eyes, too. Watch Craig's eyes. We roll up to the right, up and to the right.
Always.
That's because he's accessing the creative hemisphere of his mind. He's lying. I've been trained in interrogation techniques when I was in the military too, and I've been studying people and what they do and shit. When somebody does that, when they're telling you something, giving you an answer, they're fucking creating that.
Yeah, you can just look at the body language. Everything about him is bullshit. It's as simple as that.
Body language, yeah.
Himself, because there's no time variable and it requires instantaneous action at distance in a medium with mutual contact. But again, you haven't read it. Follow-up question, because you admitted that you can detect an object moving in rotation.
Yeah, that nervous laughter of his. Dude, it's not a laugh. We can clearly see it's not a laughter of confidence in something. It's literally a nervous laughter. We're not stupid. We can see it.
Yeah.
So why does he do it?
The question is now, okay,
yeah,
it's a method of minimizing the impact of the statement.
Yeah. Oh man, where did I go now? I went out by accident, guys. I pressed home instead of mute. We're about. Where were we? I think about 41. Around about, yeah.
Able to detect, it's physically not capable of detecting Earth's orbit around the sun. Again, the math for that is extremely complicated to explain exactly why.
For the orbit of the Earth, Newtonian mechanics or Newtonian gravity?
You said this?
Newtonian gravity. Well, they didn't have any other version of gravity before Einstein came along.
What?
So the answer is yes.
What's that, Ryan? No? No. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the only version of gravity we had until like Kepler and Einstein explained a lot of stuff was Newtonian laws. That's the only understanding we had until it was explained better.
Until Kepler? Dude, you don't know anything about your own belief, okay?
I said, did you not hear that?
Yeah, you said until Kepler and Einstein explained it further, which shows you don't even know what you're talking about at all. Kepler mapped out the kinematics, and then Newtonian came after that.
Yep.
You don't know your own belief, but it doesn't matter. So this is the point, right?
Yeah. Kepler had the kinematic mapping, you could say, and then Newton tried to say why it's moving. Newton tried to say, it's a force of attraction. Then they said, oops, it's not working. So therefore Einstein came and says, it's not actually a force causing the movement. It's the bending and warping of space-time. But we have an issue. because the ether is part of Newtonian physics. So we have to remove it to make it space-time warping and bending. So therefore, that's what they did for Einsteinian gravity. And now they have issues with that too, hence dark matter.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody. Have you ever heard of the guy Nassim Haramein?
Yeah.
Okay, he's got a Facebook page. I follow that, right? And I'm all the time busting balls in there. And I'm in there right now. This guy's trying to argue with me about that. And he says, well, we can predict. I was like, all right, first off, it's postdictions. All right. And you didn't predict shit because you went by patterns. They didn't match the Newtonian mechanics. So you had to make up dark matter. Okay. You had to literally make shit up so that you wouldn't be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's not science. Sorry, buddy.
Exactly.
No.
PJ Cruikshank being a member for 19 months. Dumbass. Chill again. Do.
And the boss.
But thanks for the being a member for 19 months. Appreciate all the support, man. The narcissist takes me with a nervous giggle.
Just remember, I had to write it backwards just so it would show up on the damn screen. Yeah, so I had to write it backwards and then turn over the paper and then write it backwards. I guess I could learn to read it backwards if I had to. See? Yeah.
Mirrored it. Yeah, there we go.
That's normal. And then, yeah, because it mirrors it when you know how it works. And I didn't realize that at first. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, let me fix it.
Are there multiple reference frames in Newtonian gravity or Newtonian mechanics that was believed at the time of MMX?
Was there multiple reference frames believed at the time of MMX? That everything is a reference frame.
Okay, so again, you don't understand it. Newton actually proposed absolute space. He said everything is measured against absolute space. Yes, absolutely. If you've actually read the Principia, let's be real, we know you haven't. So everyone,
I don't think he even knows what absolute space is, to be honest with it, because he looked dumbfounded when you said the word absolute space.
believed that Newtonian gravity was true. The Earth was moving around the sun because a force called gravity was pulling the Earth around the sun, and you could measure that motion in relation to absolute space. So when you say, oh, you couldn't detect it because of reference frames, well, you're invoking Einsteinian mechanics, which means you've just debunked yourself that you can't just explain it with getting rid of the ether. You literally, of course, ironically, Newtonian gravity requires an ether according to Newton himself because there's no time variable and it requires instantaneous action at distance and a medium with mutual contact. But again, you haven't read it. Follow-up question, because you admitted that you can detect an object moving in rotation. The question is now, okay, can that be done without an ether?
Jern.
Yes. He's waiting for an answer.
Perfect. Okay. So then the next question is, so is the Earth moving in a curved path around the sun?
The Earth is moving in an elliptical path.
Is an elliptical path curved?
Yes.
Okay, the answer is yes. So, okay.
Oh, did you know, according to Einstein, it's a straight line appearing to be curved.
Oh, wow.
What an idiot. He just pushed himself back into a box. Oh boy, he just dug a deep hole for him. Well done, Witsit.
Can interferometry be used to detect an object? Can interferometry be used to detect an object moving in a curved path with or without an ether?
Again, I already have specifically said
yes or no
that
question.
an interferometer is not able to detect Earth's orbit around the sun. And the math for that is very complicated. Not something I fully understand to be able to talk through. I could refer you to some experts that could. So I can see
where are you? Why are you not helping me, man? Oh, buddy of maths of mine. Help me. Always PhD Tony. I need your help. Oh no, PhD Tony's getting too triggered at Witsit handing your ass. So obviously he can't help you. Because PhD Tony's just as dumb as you are. Do you know PhD Tony thinks railway tracks prove a curved Earth, guys?
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. What a moron.
Where you're going, trying to say, well, why can't it? Well, that's because they're not capable of doing it. There's no need for an Aether, for an interferometer to do what it does. It's just light traveling different length paths because something is moving. And all the stuff that you were saying about, trying to say, oh, you don't know this, you don't know that. Yeah, I was trying to explain that Newton was the only explanation that we had until then Einstein came along and worked on what Newton and Kepler and everything.
He doesn't sound very confident in what he's saying, does he? You can hear he's like got a very nervous kind of way of talking right now.
He's gotten into the deep end of the pool and he can't swim. That's
You can hear he's very nervous. He hasn't got that confidence he had in the beginning.
No.
Done and explain things a lot better. But the Aether was the explanation for things at the time because they thought they needed a medium. But when they figured out that, oh, these are results that say that there is no Aether, then it helped Einstein come up with relativity. It's as simple as that. Yes, back then we didn't know everything. Newton didn't know. He didn't even like the fact that his law implied that the gravity traveled instantaneously. He, in fact, very much disliked.
He didn't like. He found it an asinine that you would have no link to have masses attracting mass. He found it an asinine absurdity. In other words, he never even believed himself that there is a force that attracts things. But according to the physics, you needed a force. So therefore, he found it absurd. There's no link. There's nothing there. It's just like your evolution. There's no link for your evolution, yet you want it to be there. So you make shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that and said, don't apply any theory of gravitation to me. He simply came up with the observation, but it doesn't debunk that his law works. But Einstein then just explained things a lot better. And the results of the Michelson-Morley experiment helped Einstein come up with his theory of relativity because we had to explain why the results were there if there was no Aether. It's as simple as that. So all this bolster and nonsense that you're spouting about the MMX and Aries failure, it's irrelevant. The Aether was removed from science, and the Aether is nothing to do with Earth moving around the sun.
Yet that's literally what Newton was begging on. Really? Okay. Makes so much sense. You guys have anything more to say on this?
No. It's Witsit buried him. There's nothing more to say about it. It's
God.
He's not confident here now like he was at the start. So you can see the confidence wavering in him. So he knows he's beaten, and he won't. But he won't. The narcissism will take over again, like I said, and he'll claim victory. Oh well, he has obviously.
Hey, Vika's in chat, guys. Yeah, I'm going on Vika's in about 15 minutes, so it's going to be great. I hope to see you guys there. It's going to be an awesome chat. Good to see you, man. I just did email him now, so I'll be in about 5 minutes before the time.
They are different things. So, you can try and sound smart all you want, Austin, but the fact is everyone here saw you lie. Saw you say that you and I never had any other conversations about...
You haven't... How's that? Saw you lie. You haven't even proven, you've shown any evidence that you did school him. He asked you for the evidence. You haven't backed it up.
Nope.
So where's he lying? You're just making a claim that you saw him lie. First, bring up the evidence, then you can claim he lied.
Relativity after that first one, when there is 11 debates on my channel that you are in. I don't know why you would lie about that directly when everyone can go and see the 11 debates where...
Okay, show in the 11 debates where you schooled him on it, FTFE. Doesn't matter if you had 200 debates. You would literally have to show where you schooled him on general relativity. Matter of fact, this whole debate showed you don't even know what you're talking about, so you are talking out of your arse.
After the first one, where I had to do some studying, I then completely schooled you every other time you came into that Discord server. I don't know why you would lie about me and you talking 11 times when people can go to my channel and watch it. It baffles me. But this is what you do: you spout nonsense, you lie, you try and sound smart, and then you change the subject over and over. You talk about kinematic equivalence, but you won't bring it up and explain it.
He hasn't changed it
So
once.
there's all my answers to all of your questions. All of your questions are irrelevant to the fact that...
Where did he change anything? He hasn't changed the thing once. He's literally just asking Craig simple questions, which Craig can't answer.
We've measured the Earth as a globe. We've measured the Earth as rotating. We've seen the Earth from space. Deny it all you want, because denial is all you have.
Dude, I love this. This is awesome. So, first of all, I don't remember ever talking to you again after you had a heart attack. You went and told everyone you had a heart attack. Now you're saying you didn't have a heart attack. I don't know, but you were.
I remember that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I even asked, I hope he's okay and everything. So,
That's
why
right.
you lying to everybody, Craig?
Well, I mean, first he lied and said that he was a disabled war veteran. And then when he got called out on that shit, he said, oh, he accidentally said war veteran because he was on opioids.
Well, I was on opioids most of my life, being a heroin addict, and I never claimed to be a war veteran. And I was in the Army Cadets.
No, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Screaming impulsively, then you had a heart attack. So actually, people that watch your show reached out to me and asked me not to debate you anymore because you get too worked up. This format's a little better because you kind of have to stay calm.
Shout out to
That's
Jaren on this format, dude. Thank you, Dave, for bringing it up with Jaren as well, because this is much, much better. It's definitely a much better format.
Yeah, it keeps it. It took their number one weapon of interruption away.
Because that's all they had. That was their strategy. Always just interrupting everybody the whole time and obfuscating from points. Now they held to the position and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
I literally took that into consideration, so I was actually trying to be nice to you. But anyway, you can lie about it, whatever. If people want to believe that you've talked to me 11 times since you had a heart attack, I don't care. That's a blatant lie. But let's get back to the actual facts of the situation. You're like, oh, Austin was in a room, I think, one time. I think he was there on X, I promise you, or something. I don't know. I don't talk to you. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is what's funny. You just refuted yourself. Everything you said was wrong. First of all, he didn't come up, he didn't just make an observation. The observations are already made with Kepler's laws and the kinematics. Okay, Newton just tried to propose some type of dynamics, and all he did was actually reverse engineer. He derived his dynamics from the kinematics, just replacing a variable and adding mass. And what he said,
there we go. It's exactly that. So in other words, he had to remove the ether and call it space-time warping. Woohoo!
Attribute to me is if the medium is material or immaterial. He said it has to be there has to be an ether. So what you just did was refute your own position, where first you said all you have to do is get rid of the ether and then it would perfectly explain Michelson-Morley. But then you went on to talk about how the complicated math of reference frames, i.e. relativity, right, are needed to explain why you can't detect the orbit. And then you went on to explain how, well, you got rid of the ether, so Einstein had to come and explain it. So then the answer objectively is, no, you can't just get rid of an ether and didn't expect the results of Michelson-Morley. You have to actually change the mechanics of the orbit itself, right? And that's what Einstein did. And you said that he just built upon it. But no, he didn't. They have directly opposite claims. Directly opposite claims. Newton said gravity is a force. Einstein said gravity is not a force. Newton said that objects continue in a straight path unless an outside force acts upon it to deviate it from that straight path. Einstein said objects can go in straight paths and curved paths, and they can go in the curved path without a force acting upon it. Einstein came in and changed the definition.
Yeah, this is one thing I also want to get through to these numbskulls. They want to keep evoking, where's the force for relative density disequilibrium to make it accelerate? You require force. Not according to Einstein. You can just have an unbalanced force. So in other words, if I get an object and it's standing and it's unbalanced, it's going to fall. No force required. It creates its own force because it's unbalanced with the air around it. Woohoo! And that literally just debunked Dell's whole argument, by the way. How to debunk Dell in 10 seconds.
Yeah, wow.
Of orbit, right? And he said that it was free falling in a geodesic path of curved space-time, and that's why we couldn't detect the motion around the sun with the interferometer. So you don't even understand your own position. So my point was that when you say, oh, it just debunked the ether, you're incorrect within your own paradigm. It didn't just debunk the ether. Your model had to get rid of the ether and then had to come in and change the actual mechanics of the orbit, introduce length contraction and time dilation to explain why Michelson-Morley showed the Earth wasn't moving, which is why Einstein said Michelson proved that one observes everything on the Earth as if the Earth is in a state of rest, right? That everything occurs on the Earth as if it's in rest. So, and you address that. Wait, I'll just go to the next question.
We'll end it then, because we have to end, unfortunately. What are your guys' thoughts on what we just saw? Because
still smashing it with it. He's like a flounder, like a fish out of water.
Well, they're all. It's getting to a point now where they're all just they've gone to the level of absurdity, And this is growing out, and with logic and reason, people are waking up. They're seeing what's actually going on. There's people that are just now coming to this truth, that are listening, that are watching, and they're picking up on it. And as they come to this revelation, this is such a like a donkey kick to the head that they're going to tell people. They're going to tell their best friend. They're going to say, hey, listen, man, look, you're going to see this going more and more. And like I said, the more people of reputation, of notoriety start coming out with it, sports figures, actors, actresses, politicians, what have you, their people are going to listen now. They're going, oh my God, there's someone of significance that's saying this too. There must be something to it. And this is why it's taken off so hard. It really is. Mm-hmm. And I said there'd be a tipping point this year. We're watching it happen. Yeah. The beginning is near.
Like the guy who spoke out against NASA a few months ago. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, he spoke out about NASA using all this money. What for? With all this fakery and all that going on. And I think that was some kind of politician or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's happening. It's just certainly happening.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, you got something to say?
So in the words of Lorena Bobbitt, it won't be long now. You guys know who she was, right?
Yeah, she threw her husband's out the window in the ice, wasn't it?
That happened just north of me, and a guy I used to do Civil War reenactments with, he was a cop, and he was one of the cops that found the dude's pecker. And they put it in a Slurpee, in a 7-Eleven icy drink, and took it to the hospital so that they could reattach it.
Wow. Hectic. Okay, guys, I got to go. So thanks
for coming. Is the only word I can think
of. Thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks, everybody in the YouTube lands. The link is in there. Vika Drazov, going to be on his podcast now. Hope to see you guys there. The link is in the chat below, and I have shared it on my community tab. So I'll see you guys there now.